More now on that flooding situation in northeastern New South Wales. Joining us live is the Tweed Shire Council Mayor, Chris Cherry. Chris, we really appreciate you taking the time. Thank you. What is the situation where you are right now?
So we have still got a major flood warning out for TUMBULGUM for the Tweed River, and we do have it currently still raining at the moment. We are looking at the high tide coming in the next while, so we need to, we have got people on very high alert. We've had incredibly widespread flooding across the Shire. Again, a lot of it is at the moderate flood level, but along the Tweed River at TUMBULGUM, that is at the major level.
We have just seen a number of evacuation orders issued in Lismore CBD now is the latest one, also in Kyogle. But in terms of what your town is doing to prepare at the moment, have you got evacuation centres set up? Do you have the resources you need?
Absolutely. So we're very lucky at the moment. We've got, more police personnel and ADF personnel on site than we would normally have. And so we do have 3 evacuation centres set up already, and they got opened up last night for people, not only due to the flooding, but because of that increased risk of landslides that is obviously very apparent after the event 5 weeks ago. There's a lot of landslips that are quite unstable, and temporary repairs that we've done that are, perhaps can be compromised by the existing rain.
Right, and in terms of the roads and the infrastructure, I assume that they do hold further risks because of that recent flooding event.
Absolutely. It's incredibly dangerous out there. So we are asking people to stay off the roads if at all possible, just to really avoid it, because we are, it's quite impossible to tell how safe some roads are, even when the water is not on top of them at that time. They may be undermined. They may have landslips below them that you can't see from the top. So we are asking people stay off the roads, particularly avoid TUMBULGUM, and just only do essential travel at this time.
Chris, how are the locals holding up? I mean, everyone must just be exhausted.
Well, as you can imagine, Ash, it's so hard for people because if you can imagine, it's nearly 5 weeks to the day that we've had the previous flood, and people have, just gotten themselves cleaned up, just gotten some of their goods replaced, white goods replaced, and setting themselves back up again into their homes. And to have this happen again, it's a very, very bitter pill to swallow today.
And what feedback are you getting from locals about the support that's in place to help them recover from that last flooding event? Is it flowing as you would like to see it flowing in terms of the funding and the resources, the support on the ground?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, we've had incredible support from the ADF helping with the cleanup. We have had, there has been some hiccups with some of the access to funding, but I believe that most of those are solved at the moment. There are still some issues we need to work on to try to make it easier for businesses to access funding. And so we need to, look at ways we can make it easier for people when these events occur, because when people have these kind of circumstances, they need the funding right then and there. And the last thing people need is to get bogged down in a whole lot of paperwork that they may have lost in the flood.
And just finally, Chris, what is the forecast the next 24, 48 hours? What is the expectation as to how this event will play out?
Well, at the moment, it is a very unpredictable event, but it is looking like it will, reform out of the coast and come back in on the coast further down. So the lower parts of the Tweed Shire are still under a severe weather warning. So it looks like the main brunt of that will be further down south at Ballina and Lismore, unfortunately, and our hearts certainly go out to them. But so the lower part of our shire is still under high alert for that severe flooding.
Chris Cherry, we do appreciate you taking the time to speak with us, and our thoughts with everyone being impacted again by this flooding event. Best of luck with it all.
Thanks so much, Ash.